Hey coaches, I'm going to walk through what I think is one of the best features of Strong Side, and that's managing your playbook. So, for my side of things, when it comes to managing an offensive playbook, I just don't think there's a lot of great things out there, and that's really where it came down to for me, for what I wanted to see as a coach. And I think that's the key part is how do coaches think about their playbook when they're going to their offensive playbook? Because most systems are really just built for making plays, right? Like there's not a lot that overlaps for you or makes sense in how it is or keeps everything together well because it was built for one play at a time, one idea at a time. So the first part is looking at your playbook in terms of formation sets. And anybody who takes a peek at this kind of understands, right? I will create I formation and I will have I right and I left. I'll have my trips, I'll have trips right and trips left. So I've made a picture of my trips right, I put it into my trips left, and now immediately once I'm on something, I can see related stuff. So I've just clicked trips. Now I can start to see stuff that's already a part of my playbook. I can quickly pull it up. I can watch it, load it, play it. I can get ready to move this somewhere or change what I'm seeing. There's just so many things that make it very quick to get to the things I want to see as a coach. So that alone to me is just the most wonderful piece of coming to Strong Side and having your playbook in here. So once I get to the end, I have these load more options. So if I have, I don't even know, 500 clips of trip stuff, if I get to the end of my trip stuff, eventually, I don't think it will happen for trips, but okay, split China. That's one of the ones where we call trips. One of our calls for it is split. So now it's been changed as split China. If I click on these, I come to the play, but I want to get there a little differently. So after formation sets, we have formations, which requires a little bit of something that we all kind of think of in general, but using it to create formations is important. So I'm going to go to this piece called modifiers. If I'm a coach and I have trips, then you probably have trips bunch, right? So now I've added bunch and I'm saying it can't pair with twins, right? I'm saying it can't be on ace. I don't want anything with ace to show up with bunch. I don't want my pro formation to come up with bunch. For the most part, I just want it with trips. And if I have it with trips, then or with anything, I'm not gonna have twins bunch, right? So as I go through these now, when I have a play that has bunch on it, I've immediately created almost every formation I really have or want to have, right? So for me personally, a lot of times when I talk about strong, I'm talking about I formation. So obviously it can't pair with weak, and it's difficult to pair it with quads because, like, let's say I'm an empty right. I generally don't have strong quads. I'm just an empty right. I guess you could do it if you were looking at, and that's the beauty, right? If you wanted to come in here and you want to create your own, and rather than call it something simple, you say, I want classy. Classy is the name that I use for some sort of tag, right? So now in your formations, these things will start to show up. Ace left, strong wing, slot, strong wing. I try to use generic terms in everything that's in here. So ace, for the most part, we can all assume that ace is, as a coach, if you said, hey, our ace is, under center two tight end, you'd kind of say, oh, I got what you're talking about. So ace left tight, boom, I've got this. Now, let's say you call it tidy, right? Or you move to a different school. You got new words for it. All right, now I have tight E, which sounds silly to me, but whatever, we'll live with it. Ace left, tidy, updated successfully. Okay, so now you're starting to see, like, all right, I can quickly get a lot of my playbook in here. And one thing that came up in talking about this is you have a problem. All of us coaches really have this problem. We say we want to make it simple, and then you say you want to be creative. And then you say, well, I want to do this one thing. And so then you build a nomenclature, a syntax that creates thousands of things, right? If you have trips and then you add tight, well, you had trips left, trips right, and now you have tight, and then let's say you add stack, right, to something. Let's say you add right? Like bunch, all of those things, you're suddenly saying, oh, I could have bunch type. I could have whatever, doubles left, weak flex in this situation, using the idea that doubles would put you here and flex puts you on the side of the call, as your other guy. As a coach, I can come in here and I can make favorites. So if I make a favorite, then that's going to help move down concepts. So let's continue talking about the next parts in terms of concepts. As a coach, I have concepts of plays. I don't have specific plays, right? So I have double slants. I didn't just wake up one morning and say, hey, we're going to have a play that's called right double slants. No, we're going to have a concept so that if we're in trips right, we can run double slants. If we're in I formation, we can run double slants. So my concept is built around adding it to my overall playbook, my overall formations. So let's see. Let's say we name Mills Pelican. That's not how you spell it. Pelican. Update. Okay. Now my concept is named Pelican. Now it gets deeper in this in terms of how far it can move me. So before I had things like trips left, pistol, mills. Well, now all of my formations that had items are now called empty right pelican. And you can do the same thing for your formation set. If I call my empty, I don't care, Eskimo, whatever it might be, now I have Eskimo pelican and my playbook has all been changed, which again, as a coach, I might go somewhere new. I might change things. I might say to myself, oh, I created this concept. Now I need to give it a name, right? So I need to give it something that works into my playbook, right? Maybe all of your passing concepts are birds or whatever it might be. I haven't ever had to choose, but I think I'd go with Pokemon for everything if it was up to me. All of this makes what we as coaches, the problem that I was just talking about. We have hundreds and thousands of plays because we move it into this way. And for those teams that are able to use those plays, it can be really great. I have been working with one coach who ran 85 different formations this last season. And I would say they're good. I wouldn't say they have like in their area have an amazing amount of talent. I think he said they had over easily 400. I think he said they had over 450 offensive yards per game. And they ran, you go into here and look at concepts. They had 7 concepts for passing and 5 for running. They just did it in a lot of different ways. So if I uncheck media, which is places where I would have uploaded stuff, and then I scroll through here, I just updated it to by alphabetical name. I've got ace left, China, go. I've got ace left, close wing, toss. What's great is for the things that have media and video, they'll usually give you a playing view. I've tried to search and I didn't actually search for anything. So that was the next piece I wanted to say was, all right, let's go with a passing concept. So let's say I want zone. And then I'm going to search for zone. Okay, so I'm not looking at ones with only media. So now I'm getting dart inside zone, left inside zone. If I go further in here, I'll probably get like zone RPOs. So now I'm going to hit media. Boom. I have everything that I've drawn up and I've placed in my playbook. It can be film. It can be something I drew on a piece of paper. It can be a video. It can be coming from whatever tool you like to draw your stuff in. I think a couple in here are from Playmaker X. I think a couple are from Vizio. This one actually, that looks like it might be Huddle. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't matter where you're drawing your plays. It makes no difference to the system. All you have to do is create one. You upload what you need. If you're doing only a play, you can set it up so that you're automatically putting it into this system in a way that you'd find it, right? So I could say, here's my play name, but it also falls into this formation set. And then boom, it's in there. Now, the last piece I want to cover here, I want to get to kind of, this is the dashboard page. So I can search for stuff and it'll hold my previous searches. And there's a lot of Triff stuff, right? So I just pulled up 609, not all of these have stuff, 609 plays, 868 formations. And right, like I've got a lot in there. Let's see what we got. So maybe let's try. Here we've got Pelican. So I've created a concept now called Pelican. It just brought me into this. Before it was Mills. I've updated it so that everything falls into that. I've added some pictures. I can add some video or some images. There's a lot of other things we'll get into here with the pictures and images, but that just starts you on seeing what the playbook looks like when you're going through your offense. It's built so that you can build your robust playbook. I think I didn't sit on it there, but I think it was maybe 30,000 plays already, but I've added 800 that have images or whatever it might be. I can add video to each one, and then I can play it right here. And there's a couple other things, like I said, we'll get into later.